what about Kurt Stoops, got a red shirt?
No, Duke's just got a shot. Duke's has got a long way to go as far as, adjusting the pass protection and things like that. I'm assuming, without really knowing, I may not be fair to him on that, but he's got a chance.
Coach, can you first talk about, maybe we're up here, the philosophy, you've only got like 15 practice sessions, and then is it frustrating that you can't work with maybe your guys on a limited basis during the winter months and things along those lines?
Well, that's the way it is. Everybody else got the same problems unless they're breaking the rules. I mean, you can go out there and, you run them, and you give them agility drills and conditioning drills and things like that, but you can't put a football out there. And you can't do some things, particularly in, skill positions. I think you'd like to have a little bit more time, but that's the way it is. And you gotta live with it. Been that way for 15 years now, maybe longer. But we'll get it there. It's just the fact that if I seem a little bit frustrated or evasive, it's just that we've not had enough time. We're gonna practice today, and then we're gonna, I don't like to work over the Easter holidays, and it's Passover, and the whole bit. So I just think we back away and take a good look at what we've done so far, and if we can evaluate some kids, we evaluate them. If some kids, we get in a staff meeting and somebody says, I haven't seen enough of him, I can't tell you where he's going to play, what he's doing, how good he is, what he lacks, right? Then you got to wait a while. Then when we come back and we go to work on Monday, we got 11 days, and then we got to zero in on the things that we've got to make sure we can make decisions on. We're going to make a decision on this guy, we're going to make a decision who plays tackle, who plays guard, we're going to make a decision on whether the kid's a corner or safety. I mean, they're things that, sometimes I don't think, that you understand that the hardest job of coaching, and I read a book one time called Slink, and it gave the difference between checkers and chess. All right? In checkers, everybody did the same thing. All right? In chess, the pawn can do this, and this guy can do that, and that guy can do that, and you got to place them in the right place. And that's pretty much what the challenge is when you're coaching. Don't go into it with a preconceived idea. Make sure you go in with an open mind, all right, so that you can take the pawn and put him here, and you can take the other guy and put him here, and put him here, and put them together so that you get what can be the best team that you have. And right now, I really can't tell you, but I think, we spend more time talking personnel than you guys can imagine when we're in staff meetings.
Are you satisfied with the progress that Kevin Newsom has made since he got here a year ago?
Yeah, I think that's one thing I probably, that I've watched Kevin quite a bit, just to see how he's handling the huddle and different things like that. I think he's made good progress. He's got a ways to go, but he's made good progress.
With such young quarterbacks and also replacing all your starting linebackers, are you curious or concerned where your leadership is going to come from?
Do you mean quarterbacks and linebackers? What are we doing?
Replacing, having young quarterbacks,
Oh,
losing the starting linebackers, are you concerned about where your
absolutely.
leadership is going to
And that won't come until some of these guys get comfortable. You can't. There's a couple of kids that potentially have the chance to be the leaders, to replace the leaders we lost, such as guys like Sean Lee and Darryl Clark. But right now, since we're not sure about them, and they sense that, they know they're fighting for their lives, mostly to play, so they're not ready to go out there and assert themselves as much as I hope we'll be able to get done before it's over.
And do you actually play chess?
I used to play chess when I was a kid growing up in Brooklyn. I used to drive my bike down to Brighton Beach. You guys ever hear of Brighton Beach? Neil Simon? Brighton Beach. And a lot of Russian Jews down there. And I used to go down there, that's where I started to play handball on 3-wall court. Play handball, and then we played chess. And I don't think I ever won a chess game. But I won a couple of handball games.
Joe, you've talked about discussing personnel decisions and that. Any thought, will you keep Wisniewski at center probably, or any thought of moving him back to guard?
Well, we hadn't talked about that. I think that might come up. It depends on if we had a guy that could get the ball up at center. You know, nowadays the center's a tough job because it's not just a question of getting the ball up, and you know, there's so many of these defenses where the center's really got to handle a guy that's in the off-shoulder. It isn't like the old days where you just stuck him right on the front of him. Now, some people are coming back to that, and then he's got to be able to make the long snap back on the shotgun. So right now, Wisniewski's our center. Whether that changes or not, again, we're trying a couple other kids there, because Wisniewski could be a good guard, or he could be a center, but we really have not done anything about that.
Other questions? Okay, thank you.
Hey, good, thanks, guys. I don't mean to be, you know, but as I said, it's difficult for me to answer some of your questions and know what I'm talking about.